Mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome to another episode with the Lab Coat Astrologer. In this video, I'm going to be talking about your big three, which is the sun sign, the moon sign, and the rising sign. And I'm going to be pulling up the transiting planets. Transit means where the planets are currently. And so I can flip the camera and show you a chart that I have here. This is what I intend on showing a little bit here, doing some demonstrations on how I incorporate your sun, moon, and rising in the chart. And what I like about this is that this app, Astro Gold, is an app where you can update the chart immediately, and you can even change the minutes, hours, days, months, and years, which is one thing that I like a lot about Astro Gold. Although I started off using astro.com, and I still like using astro.com, but Astro Gold is an app that, you can utilize on your phone, on your iPad. I don't know if it's on the computer. I think it is on the computer, but I have it for my iPad and my phone, and it's really handy when it comes to being able to pull up charts quickly. Testing. Can you hear me? I want to know if you can hear me. I didn't even check the sound quality. Pardon me. Is the chat on? Okay, they're visible. Okay, perfect. So, I wanted to talk briefly about the transiting planets and really incorporate them into the big three, which are the sun, the moon, and the rising sign. So, this is a chart currently for New York, New York. And as we speak, the moon is at 7 degrees of Taurus. Pardon me, too, thank you for commenting that you can hear me. Pardon me for the pixelated picture. I'm working on finding ways in which to share my screen easily and effectively. So stay tapped in, subscribe, like. I just put out a couple of videos for those who are interested in learning astrology and you learn in pictures. If you could comment yes on that last video, let me know what you think about that way in which to learn learn how to read the astrological chart, like some of the basics. I know a lot of times when people, even when I'll speak for myself, when I first started reading astrological charts, when it came to the characteristics or the archetypes, I would forget, or I would like to have someone or something to aid me in a direction or a guiding me on a path to interpreting the chart. So I found this way in which to, do it in pictures, to display a picture format on the screen where you absorb this information, because it's said that we learn best through pictures. And so I thought it would be a great feature to those who are interested in learning how to read the astrological chart. So thank you for your patience. I'm new to YouTube. I'm just learning how to work and utilize all the tools and the buttons. So I'm going to treat this as a big three. Your big three, your sun, moon, rising. I'm going to show you the chart and how I plug your big three planets, your sun, moon, and your rising sign rather, into the transiting skies or into a transit chart, and answering questions. I first want to say that there's an interesting dynamic in the skies right now with the sun in Virgo and the moon in Taurus as we speak. And if we look closely here, if you can see, the sun is in Virgo at 11 degrees, which is the second decan. And a lot of times people are wondering, oh, what's deacons? What are deacons? And so deacons have a lot to do with the elements when you're connecting the elements. So Virgo is an earth element, Capricorn is an earth element, and Taurus is an earth element. So these three zodiac signs are family members, if you will. They're related. They're practical. They're down to earth. They're grounded. They work with material or the characteristics and the archetypes, and their nature is points to material wealth, and material service, acts of service that you actually do, and as well as your position, your reputation, and how you're recognized for the things that you do in public, right? So it's a grounded and practical element. But with the sun in Virgo and the moon in Taurus, this is a trine aspect. And with the sun in Virgo at 11 degrees, the sun highlights Capricorn. So in a sense, there's a grand trine going on between these three earth signs. And if we look at the cluster of planets, or where the planets are currently positioned, we find that there are two planets in Virgo, Sun and Mercury, one planet in Capricorn, Pluto, three planets in Taurus, the Moon, Jupiter, and Uranus, I say. Some say Uranus, I say Uranus. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 10 planets are located in the earth signs. On astro.com, there is a little grid in the bottom corner. Let me see if I can show this to you real quick, because this is important for those who are working with the basics in the beginning phases of learning how to read the astrological chart, as well as incorporating these basic components. So this is astro.com real quick, and here you'll see in the bottom right hand corner, this is astro.com. Oh, it's a little slow. Here's astro.com, and in the bottom right hand corner, it shares with you this little grid. So a lot of times people want to know, like, hey, what's this grid about? What is this? What does it mean? So it's an easy way in which to quickly assess and see where the majority of the planets are by modality, cardinal, fixed, mutable, and by element, fire, air, earth, and water. And so we can see that in the water signs, there's Jupiter, Chiron, the midheaven, Venus, and Pluto. That's because this is somebody else's chart. I'd actually have to, pardon me, I use an example of a chart of one of my clients. Bear with me here. Let me pull up a current transit chart for astro.com so we can see how this little grid will point to where the planets are located in the transiting skies, because it's an easy way in which to assess a chart, rather. If you have a friend or family member or something, what have you, and you were to pull up or look at this little chart in the bottom right hand corner, you'd be able to assess and see where most of the planets are currently located. So bear with me here. I should have been prepared here. But the earth element is at the top right now in that regard, because the majority of the planets are located there. So if we were to incorporate that into the chart, or to delineate that, what that means, the location of Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn in your astrological chart, there would be highlights there, and there would be themes that pop out, especially now. So here's a chart of the current moment, and I could show you, pardon the pixelation of the screen here. I'm working on getting a program that I can share my screen. But if you can see here, you see Pluto's in an earth sign, Moon is in the earth sign, Taurus, Jupiter is in Taurus, Uranus is in Taurus, because Taurus is a fixed earth sign. The Sun is in Virgo, and Mercury is in Virgo. So that's 6 planets out of the 10. We have the midheaven and we have the ascendant currently right now in air signs, but the midheaven and the ascendant are not considered planets. They're still important, but they're not considered planets. So we have Mars as the only planet right now that's currently situated in air signs. Saturn and Neptune are the only two planets in the water signs out of the three water signs. And the North Node is not a planet either. It's a critical point. It's the point of the nodes and where the eclipses occur. But we have Chiron and Venus in fire signs. So in this grid, in this chart real quick, we're able to quickly assess, I guess, the dominance of element and mode, if you will. These are cardinal, fixed, mutable in fire, air, earth, and water. Right? So just wanted to share. I hope that was beneficial for someone. I didn't mean to show all my apps. But this is Astro Gold here, and that's what I'm pointing to, is these three earth signs and earth, the earth family, if you will. So you can quickly assess your astrological chart and where you have Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus located, and you kind of get an idea of where the energy is situated. So I want to ask, are there any questions in the chat right now? Any questions? Got my little astrologer cup filled to the brim with coffee. And so the moon in Taurus, the moon is said to be exalted in Taurus, meaning it's dignified and it does the best there. And she is approaching, I say she because the characteristics and the archetypes of the moon are emotional. Doesn't mean that it's only a she. It can be both, because anyway, I'm going to leave that alone. But it's an emotional, it's said to be a feminine energy, and what we need. It points to our needs. It points to the mother. It points to our living conditions. Right? So in a sense, there's a need, right, for not only money. There's always a need for money, right? Taurus is associated and connected and correlates to finances and financial pursuits and our earning and how we earn. So there's a focus there, but there's also a need for security as well, right? So wherever Taurus is located in your chart, there's a highlight of Taurus just by the moon being in Taurus. And as well as Jupiter, because the moon is approaching Jupiter, it says that it can be interpreted as energy or a building up of energy or approaching benefits and opportunities in some regard. Jupiter is a fortunate planet. The moon does well when it's in Taurus, so this is somewhat of a good energy, if you will, especially for material wealth and resources and values. May not be dollar bills or money dropped into your bank account, but it's also with your psychological well-being and security, or the need for security. So looking at your astrological chart and incorporating that will do some benefit. So this influences and lasts for a couple of days. The moon stays in a zodiac sign for approximately 2.5 days. It's already at 7 degrees. In approximately 7 hours, it will conjunct and align with Jupiter. It's one of the benefits with astrology is timing. You know, when it comes to timing and seeing the times that the moon aspects some of the planets and where they're placed in your astrological chart, or looking at the alignment of where the planets are in a family member's astrological chart, you know, there's some value and there's some benefit with the foresight that you have in understanding the temperament. I'm of the mind that astrology is beneficial, like the same way that before you go outside, you look at your phone or you check the weather, or you go outside and you're like, okay, it's a little windy, I need to put a jacket on. It's the same way that with astrology, you have a comprehension and an understanding, a one-standing of where the temperament and where the energy is located, and how you might experience other people, as well as by knowing their zodiac or their astrological chart. You may not know everybody's astrological chart, but you can start with the people that you know And then when you get to meet other people, you can start with the sun sign. If they're comfortable with it, then I guess you can go into reading their chart. But just by the sun sign itself, you have a basic comprehension and understanding of how the energies will match between you and another individual. It doesn't mean that it's everything. It doesn't mean that it won't work. It doesn't mean that it will work. What it means is it shows you, you know, it's like an information instruction manual that points to the temperaments, if you will. So let's go back here. Oh, okay, we have this here. So we have this goodness here, and this lasts for a couple of days, more so tomorrow on Monday, you know, the influence of the moon and Jupiter and the trine to the sun. It's a good opportunity and time to share your ideals and ideas, especially for those who are earth signs with the moon trine Virgo, where the sun and Mercury are, for the beginning part of the day into the afternoon. And then the moon transits and aligns with Uranus there, which is the planet of sudden and unexpected change. And it's also insightful. Uranus is an intellectual planet, it's intellectual vibe, if you will. You know, so we have some abundance, we have some goodness, we have some advancements in regards to our thinking and innovation, innovating ideas in which to acquire finances and possessions. So if you're just getting here, what I'm doing is, the live title is Big Three in Transits, but I'm going in and explaining some of the transits right now with this astrological chart. It's a good way in which to see and get an idea if you didn't know where the planets are currently located. This is Astro Gold. What I like about it is that you can refresh the button with a click of a button. It shows you where the planets currently are located. So, peace, how are you? I'm using Astro Gold. This app is Astro Gold. Pardon me for the pixelation. I am working on finding ways in which to share my screen so I can pull up charts and it's a little more crisp. But this is what I'm working with right now. I decided just to go live and do it and try it. Let me know if you can hear me clearly or if my sound quality goes out, because I'm not sure, I can't hear myself. But anywho, if anybody wants to put their big three in the comments and hear my perspective on how the transits and what things maybe to look for, then you're more than welcome to. If you enjoy the content, I encourage you to like, share, subscribe. I just came out with a video asking people if they learn through pictures, or, you know, I found through statistics, through stats, that people learn best through pictures. I can hear you loud and clear. Okay, thank you, appreciate you. I read somewhere, I don't know where I read, that people learn best with pictures and through pictures. Is that true? Is that the case here for anybody, for the people that are here? Because I found a way in which to create a picture of the chart and pointing to the different components and the aspects, and it could be treated as like a meditation, if you will, where you're just looking at the screen and you're absorbing these components and these parts of the astrological chart so that you can, you know, remember, you know, pictures and memory. I think it's smell. It's smell that attaches to memory. Is the number one way people remember, is through the sense of smell. And then it's sight. It's through pictures. Okay, we got some big threes in the comments. Aquarius Sun, Cancer Moon, Sagittarius Rising. So we have, let's scroll this down a little bit. Can we move this up? We can move this up. It's a visual learner. Very well put. Thank you so much for that. So Aquarius is here, if you didn't know. Aquarius is located here. And just by being an Aquarius, right, I know that over the, whoa, that almost fell. That's not good. Wait a minute. All right, here we go here. There we go. So just by you being Aquarius sun, right? The key motto for Aquarius is I know. Aquarius is a truth seeker. These zigzag lines actually symbolize ether and the air. It's a water bear, and they say that it's water, but I think that it is the waters of the sky, which are the ether. The same way that you look into the sky and you see it goes deep into the vastness of space, the deep of the universe, is similar to when you are at sea or in the water and you look down, it looks deep and dark, if you will, synonymously. But anyway, it makes you one who is about advancement. It makes you one who, one of the characteristics is independent, is someone who is original, unique. You like to be different. Aquarius is a difference, an up and down, sudden and unexpected, rebellious even in the nature, maybe when you were younger, right? So we have the sun shining in Aquarius. Now, there's a couple more things that we can add into the Aquarius sun sign that you have. The sun is in detriment when it's in Aquarius. And they say that it's in detriment because it's far away from its home, which is Leo. The sun does well in Leo. It's at home there. But when it's in Aquarius, it's all the way on the other side of the circle. So it's said to be in detriment, which means that sometimes you don't express yourself all the way or all the time. You keep to yourself. They say Aquariuses are trapped in their own little bubble at times. You know, they can seem distant and cold. So, and that can be a good thing, right? Or it can be a bad thing. In addition to the sun in Aquarius and it being in detriment and it being independent and it being a revolutionary, there's a wide range of friends when it comes to Aquarius because they enjoy and appreciate the different, you know, when it comes to cultures, when it comes to foods, people. They say Aquarius are people, person people. You know, one of the, what do they call that? When someone is just sitting, like people watching or whatever the case may be, there's an appreciation for the unique and the different. Right. So in addition to that, Saturn, in the ancient rulership, Saturn is the planet that rules Aquarius, which is right here. This is the symbol for Saturn. And if you look, it's in Pisces, and the past 2 years, Saturn was in Aquarius. Right? So just by that motion, it shares with me that over the past 2 years, if you will, there's been a lot of hard work and some lessons that you've learned, as well as you not only being detached as an Aquarius, but with Saturn, the planet that rules Aquarius, as an ancient ruler, it makes you learn lessons and become a lot more serious about issues of respect and boundaries over the course of the past 2 years. It'd be interesting to denote what degree the sun was in your chart, or by knowing the degree of your sun sign in your chart, you'd be able to tell, you know, approximately, you know, the duration or the time, even the duration of these experiences and these events that you might have had some discordant energy with the father or father figures or authority figures, and issues with people telling you what to do, you know, and as well as you working on controlling your emotions and controlling, you know, your expression and how much you give to others, saying no a lot more, being a little bit more serious. You know, it's a maturity, regardless of your age. It's similar to a Saturn return. It's not a Saturn return, but Saturn conjunct the sun, which happened over the course of the past 2 years, is a feature there, right? Okay, I'm staying a little bit too long here on Aquarius, but we can tell by Saturn being in Pisces, Aquarius, just the sun by itself alone has Pisces in the second house. So the last 2 years were working on self-development and self-improvement. And now that Saturn is in Pisces, it works on your finances and knowing your worth, right? And values. I find that those with Saturn in the second house by transit, which would be the Aquarius risings right now, work on and are working on their financial position, their credit, paying off debt, as well as being comfortable and working on their confidence with their worth and value, feeling and knowing that their value and that they're worth something and that they can keep pressing on regardless of those past circumstances, right? Okay, pow. So the sun is in Cancer. There's a combination there with the sun in Aquarius, the moon in Cancer. So we find the moon, although that the sun is in detriment, the moon is at home and comfortable. So at the same time that you're detached and can be cold-hearted and off in your little bubble, the moon in Cancer makes you at the same time concerned about family and family matters. And there's a closeness or a want to be close to the mother and or to the grandmother or to someone in the family closely on the maternal side of the family, because the moon is in Cancer and that's the energetic that the moon gives. Okay, so Aquarius is air, Cancer is water, and what is it, Sagittarius rising? Sagittarius is here. Sagittarius is here. It's setting currently right now. And so Sagittarius, amongst all of that, that independence and this emotion of Cancer and the independence of Aquarius, those two zodiac signs actually come out through your personality, your approach, how you express yourself, because Sagittarius is your rising sign. I say that Sagittarius is a zodiac sign that's hard to tie down. It is very adventurous. If you notice the arrow, let the arrow, in the symbol of the arrow, which is the archer, it symbolizes the archer and the direction in which one goes and the appreciation or the approach to life as a journey, right? And how the arrow journeys and flies when it comes out of the bow, as well as Sagittarius being the zodiac sign of travel, foreign people, places, and things. There may be a liking there. The first house also points to the early childhood, so at an early age you might have done quite a bit of traveling, depending on the degree and the location of the ascendant sign degree. But we can add that as a feature, as well as Jupiter being the ruler of Sagittarius. And so we can look and we can use this transit chart here to see a little bit of what you've been working on just by looking at the location of Jupiter. So Jupiter is over here in Taurus, and it's in the 6th house. So there says that there's your approach is philosophical and adventurous, and you're looking to find adventure, and you find adventure through your work, through your health, through your hygiene. And that, because the moon is there right now, that might even be something that was incorporated today or a plan for tomorrow even. You know, maybe a new workout routine, or maybe you haven't been working out and you're like, okay, tomorrow's going to be the day I'm going to set my alarm, I'm going to go and do this thing. You know, I find that that's the case when it comes to incorporating the transits in the astrological chart. Does that resonate with you? I know that was a little bit long. Pardon me. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate each and every one of you. And the shares. So we have another one here. Pisces, Capricorn, Aries. So Pisces is here. Are you still here? I don't want to read this chart if you're not here.